on the Sooner Sports Network from Learfield, live at Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. This is Sooner Sports Talk, presented by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, bringing you the best in real Texas barbecue. Sooner Sports Talk is also brought to you by Riverwind Casino. Good times, great rewards. And by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. This is Sooner Sports Talk. Now, here are your hosts, Teddy Lehman, and the voice of the Sooners, Toby Rowland.
Welcome, everyone, to Rudy's on a Monday night. It is time for Sooner Sports Talk. We get to spend the next hour with the head coach of the Sooners, Brent Venables, and my co-host just happens to be a Butkus and Bednarik Award winner and the best dadgum color analyst in America, Teddy Lehman, ladies and gentlemen.
T-Row, how we doing, my man?
I'm good. How was Mississippi? How was the SIP for you?
I thought it was cool. It was nice. Yeah. Memphis, downtown Memphis, where we stayed, was really cool. Nice stadium. I know everyone had a lot of fun outside and good environment inside. It was great.
I just hope the next time we go, it's not an 11 a.m. kick.
Yeah.
Because we didn't really get to see what the Grove is all about.
Didn't get to explore very much, but
yeah.
I'll take everyone else's word for it, I guess.
Those that did seem to have a good time. Well, 26-14, the final. Really, Teddy, a tale of two halves in this game.
Yeah, it was. I thought the offense did some really good things, especially early. Ran the ball well. Javonte Barnes really had it going, did some good things out of the backfield as well in the passing game with him, but felt like the offensive line was playing with some good physicality, and Jackson Arnold was doing some really nice things. Quarterback run game got going. Defense gave up that first drive, but then they settled in pretty nicely, and I thought the sequence right before the half was maybe the best little, complimentary football that we've seen in a while. The defense they really get 2 fourth-down stops. The one, they get the face mask call, and then offense takes over and runs it down the field and punches it in before half.
Yeah, that was nice.
Great.
Make welcome, folks, the head coach of the Oklahoma Sooners, Brent Venables, is here with us now. Howdy, sir.
Hey.
How are you tonight?
Good.
Good
Yeah.
to see you.
Yep.
We were talking about the game against Ole Miss. Opening segment brought to you by McIntyre Law, Noble McIntyre. McIntyre Law, the law firm for all your personal injury needs. Coach, what'd you like about the first half? What'd you not like about the second half?
Yeah, the first half, I thought we got into a really good rhythm on offense and defense. Obviously, they're a good football team. They've scored on most of their first possessions on the season, so I didn't like the first possession defensively for us. But after that, I thought we responded really well. I thought, again, you look at the body of work. We outrushed them. I think we had 16-9 first downs. I think it was 235 yards to 160 yards. We rushed the ball, I think, for 125 yards. I think they were giving up 65-ish on the season, and we rushed the ball really well. We were physical. We finished runs. We finished blocks. We protected well in the first half, and had a nice balance and a nice blend, run and pass, and not doing anything out of the ordinary. We just on a really good tempo. I thought our play sequencing, play calling was really good from Joe John. I thought the staff had a really nice plan, and then again defensively, we had several short yardage stops in particular. Again on the day, we were on 3rd and 4th downs, which Ole Miss has been fantastic, one of the best in college football. We've been pretty good all year long on those situations. Offensively, we hadn't been really good, and I think we were 70% conversion rate, 7 out of 10 on the first half, and then defensively outstanding again, and then overall, on the day, I think we were 43% on offense successful, which is improvement against a really, again, we're playing a very good team and a really good defense, one of the best in college football, number 1 scoring defense, and best run defense in college football. And then I think Ole Miss was 35% conversion rate on 3rd and 4th downs, and they're going to go for a lot of fourth downs, that's who Coach Kiffin is. We weren't able to create any turnovers on the defensive side of the ball. We turned it over one time. Again, overall, first half, it just really good. We up 14-10, felt really good going into the half. Felt it would have to be an ambush, and I thought our biggest advantage, I'm not sure whether or not Ole Miss thought that they could lose to Oklahoma, and I thought that would be an advantage for us. And it's one of the worst places you can be mentally, and our guys played with purpose and toughness and passion. And in the third quarter, we got completely, we got dominated in the third quarter. Total yardage was 200 to 25. And they had 9 first downs to our 1. And I think we punted 3 times. They didn't punt. And they were 3 out of 3 on third downs, and we were 1 out of 4. And they averaged around 10 yards a play in the third quarter, and we were under 2 yards a play. And there's a lot of things you can look back, and we've spent a lot of time in the last 48 hours looking at that. The first 2 drives on defense, first 2 drives on offense. And for offensively, again, I don't want it. There's competitive plays that are going to happen in the game that you're just always going to be there. And again, especially when you're playing good people. My focus is on where did Oklahoma beat Oklahoma. And again, I thought the first drive of the second half, offensively, we get it going, and then we get to 3rd and 3, so we're on schedule all day long. We were doing a very nice job of executing on some third manageables, and we got to 3rd and 3, and then we false start. And now it goes to 3rd and 8, and you can overcome. We had overcome in the first half in some of those situations, but when they made a competitive play, we throw the ball, it hits us in the breastplate, and they break it up. They're right there. That's football. So we punt, and then they go back, they get the ball, and you rip it all down. But we had some bad eyes. Two straight drives. We just had bad eyes. Some bad discipline. We get them to 3rd and 12, and we've been pretty dang good on 3rd and 12. We don't execute a stunt like it needs to, which would have probably, and we get to the quarterback on this play on 3rd and 12, but we don't get there as fast as we should have had we executed the stunt within the pressure. And so the quarterback has a little bit more time, and as a result, again, we're covering an underneath route, and we get a little nosy, and we look back in the backfield, and the receiver turns it up, and the quarterback makes a really nice play. And again, this isn't, I think Jackson Dart will play the game a long time. I mean, this is the only active player in college football that has over 10,000 passing yards and 1,200 rushing yards. A really good quarterback that you don't give him any hope. Don't give him any opportunity. You get these small windows of opportunity, man, you got to close the door on people and step on their throat. We have undisciplined eyes. We look in the backfield. The receiver turns up. They can convert it. And 2 plays later, they run a double move on us. Again, a play in the same call that we work several times all week, and we don't have the discipline, within there to use the right technique. The DB did not look in the backfield, but he took too big of steps, and transitionally he got beat on the double move for a touchdown. And so, I look at what could we have been better at, and the quarterback is, we got 2 defenders, getting ready to take him down there on that one. So that's 1 touchdown, that I find could we have gotten off the field? Where were we in position to make a play? We're in a good call. Those are all things you're always looking at. And then the following drive offensively, we on 2nd down, we get an efficient run. We gain 4 yards. So now it's going to go to on 2nd down, we get a 4-yard run, and so it's going to be a manageable 3rd down, and we get a holding call. Backed up on our own end of the field, it goes to 2nd and 18, goes to 3rd and 18. We try to throw a quick screen to try to, you want to try to get into a manageable 3rd down and try to get something quick and get it out of your hands quick, and next thing goes to 3rd and 18, and we end up punting. And they get a shorter field, and long story short, we get some guys a little bit fatigued. We get a backup safety in there. Just not clean defense, and then they run a little fake toss play to the perimeter, and the tight end acts like he's blocking and runs a little go route. We get caught looking in the backfield. with our backside safety that's supposed to be looking at number 3, and we don't do that. And so they hit another, what ends up being a touchdown, get it on the half-yard line there. And so 2 really bad back-to-back drives for the defense and the offense, and they scored 13 points. And I missed the extra point, but 13 points, and they get right back in a great position. They're up 23-14. And then a fourth quarter, we had 7 first downs. They have 0 first downs. We had 70-plus yards of offense. They had 17 yards of offense. And but we lost it 3-0. And second half, we lost the second half 16-0. We played a lot. We outplayed them in the fourth quarter outside of scoring. We just didn't score. We couldn't create a turnover. Couldn't get the strip sack when we needed to. The big plays that when we came back in the fourth quarter against Auburn, we had an explosive pass play. We have a play where we lay it on the line and we get a 2-point play. We get a pick six, and things went our way, and we couldn't produce the game-changing plays that we needed to when we needed it the most. They had 10 sacks in a game, and it's all bad. But other plays that were counted as sacks, or we had a double pass called after on a first down. We got into the green zone there, and we're hoping that they're aggressive, and they did a nice job of staying back. But we have a pass, we got it to Bauer Sharp, and then he's going to throw it down the field, but they sat on top of the trick play. So he pulls it down and keeps it. Well, he gets tackled for -1, and that's counted as one of your sacks. And then earlier in the first half, we got actually a counter read play. There's no RPO. It's a counter read, and the DN is just smoking off the ball. We lose the ball. They counted that as a pass. And it's really not, but that's also one of our 10 sacks. So really, as far as dropbacks, and we had another sack in the second quarter on 2nd and goal at the 6, where we scored a touchdown. The next play, we had a sack where everybody was covered up there in the tight zone, and so that was 3 of the 10 sacks there. Again, 2 of them weren't. Jackson doesn't have the ball. And one of them It was a run that they counted as a sack. And then we had 6 sacks in the last 11 plays of the game, all just back to back. When we're in a predictable situation, and like I said, none of it's any good. You got to be better. We chip protected a lot during the day. There's times we did, and we held up great. And there was times that we didn't, and we held up great. And then at the end, they're sitting and playing coverage. And so you can chip protect, but you only get 3 guys in coverage, and they got 6 or 7 defenders covering your 3. And it makes it a lot more difficult to move the ball and to have options and check downs and things like that. So we're a little more vulnerable. They had their ears pinned back. They've got several NFL guys up front. Like I said, none of it's any good, but 6 of those 8 sacks that we actually that we gave up in were in the last 11 plays. And like I said, we had the other that off the mesh that they forced the fumble. And then Bowers counted as 1. So those are really sloppy. Otherwise, there's some improvement, within the loss. Our expectation, we had every expectation to go there and win the game. We thought we matched up well. We did. That's the same team that went to Baton Rouge their last game, and they dominated LSU in Baton Rouge. For the whole game until, again, it went to overtime, and they lost a 3-point game there. And they really didn't play great. They lost at home to Kentucky by 3, 2017. So a good football team, that we went, again, on the road. And I thought there were some really good things. Guys, we were a little more physical at both receiver, at tight end, on the offensive line. I thought Javonte Barnes and Taylor Tatum both ran with purpose and ran behind their pads. Taylor obviously needs to hold on to the ball. But there's a lot that you can build from, individually and then situationally. And then again, you want to promote some of the growth and the progress that happens even, through a loss. And then again, how can we get better? And that's, our charge, moving forward, to try to, again, get back on track and create some momentum and have a chance to win, win out. We got 3 tough challenges, and they've all been challenges. A week ago or whatever that, when we played South Carolina, we gave ourselves no chance. Gave ourselves no chance. And that's South Carolina is the same team that 3 weeks ago, Ole Miss dominated from start to finish. It wasn't, I think South Carolina scored 3 points on them, in Columbia. And what we showed was we can beat anybody if we do the things that winning requires. And you got to play physical, you got to run the ball, you got to take care of the football, you got to play good situational football. We were on the wrong side of the field position game. They were a little better than we were. We let 2 punts hit the ground that we can't. And we had a penalty on another punt return where we thought that they targeted us, and I agreed with the call. It wasn't a targeting, but we also had a hold. We were just blocking a guy. We snatched a guy down to the ground. Well, the next thing you know, the offense has got the ball, P and 10 on the 10-yard line, and that's 90 yards away. It's already hard enough. Let's not self-inflict. And that's a guy, one of our best special teams players on the year, that's just busting his butt and got a little too much jersey. And then we let the other punt hit, in the fourth quarter, and then we got to take the ball at the 2-yard line. And we moved it right down the field. But it's hard, Again, then you're playing one of the top defenses in all of college football that's well coached, and so the margin for error, man, is such a thin line between having a successful play, having a successful series, having a winning performance. And there was some real opportunity, and I told the guys, look, man, the game of football, you don't have endless opportunities. When you get these small windows, man, you got to capitalize. You got to step on people's throat. You can't make it easy. If they're going to make a play, make them earn it. And I really felt that in the third quarter, we just we did some things that you can't do and allowed Ole Miss to create some momentum and be able to basically, play keep away, if you will.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll ask some more about the game at Ole Miss and preview the showdown with the Maine Black Bears when we come back. You're watching the Brent Venables Show here at Rudy's.
Sooner Sports Talk is brought to you by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, bringing you the best in real Texas barbecue. Walden Cleaners and Laundry, where the difference is quality. Riverwind Casino, good times, great rewards. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Bob Moore Ford is proud to honor service members through the Patriot of the Game. Log on to Soonersports.com/kids for information about joining the Sooner Junior Kids Club presented by OG&E and brought to you in part by Orthodontics exclusively, Mathis Home, and Devon Energy.
Welcome back, everybody. This segment brought to you by Dos Equis, the official import beer of OU Athletics. Go for Dos. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Teddy?
Yeah, Joe John. First go, offensive coordinator. How'd you think he did?
Yeah, I thought he did really well. Put our guys in position to be successful. He'll be the first one to tell you that he'd like to have a few plays back. But I thought the staff did a great job. It's tough circumstances. A week ago Sunday to take that charge and to, go help our guys. I thought they did a great job, very professional, and really did a good job together, putting together a plan that could help us go win the game. And I thought they led the right way. I thought the play sequencing was really good. And again, did a nice job of keeping them off balance for a good part of the game. And had the right juice and the energy too, for the guys.
That's what it felt like. They played hard and fast, like coming out of the gate, especially in the running game and the offensive line. It looked like there's more speed there than we'd seen the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, again, they did a nice job, through the course of the week, making sure the players understood what the game plan was going to be, and again, how you practice it, how you call it. All those things play into what you just said. To be able to play fast, play aggressive, play with confidence, and you saw all of those things for the first time as a unit, all year.
Yeah. I thought Jackson, especially in the first half, looked really composed. What was your assessment of how he played, and then what was the impact you saw from Kevin Johns on him this week?
Yeah, again, he made great decisions. Didn't squeeze the ball much at all. Put the ball where it needed to be on time. Was incredibly accurate. Ran the ball really well. Ran for over 100 yards. Was really efficient. Put the ball in really good spots. For the most part all day, and had a winning performance when it comes to making decisions and accuracy and taking care of the ball. Again, the mesh charge, he had no chance on the fumble, and they're in a really good call to disrupt the play. The back's got to be over. He's got to align a little more precise that potentially can help you. Now that's a nice play there that, again, I thought several times he kept his eyes down the field, under pressure, bought some time with his legs, and then made good decisions about when to keep it and then when to deliver it. And they did a nice job play design to have some outlets and some checkdowns too that had a chance to gain positive yardage as well. It's one thing to throw it out in the flat, but if they're throwing it behind them, or the play design is where they're not catching it, and then again with an emphasis of getting vertical, when you do, and there's one for a touchdown there right before half. And it's just all those guys having a lot of fun, and that's for as a coach, that's really what you want to see. Here's one, and we start the drive there on the 2-yard line, and did a nice job moving the ball. We end up turning it over on downs. We're down by 2 scores there. And, a field goal does you no good, so we end up having a really tough, 4th down play there to end that drive, but bringing it off the 2, and Jackson gets a lot of credit, in that position, as we know, a lot of times he gets way too much blame and way too much credit, but again, that was, easily, again, playing the team that he's playing as well, on top of all that, his best game, of the season.
We saw on those clips there, Barnes, I think he had 5 catches, ended up going for 120 plus total yards.
Yeah.
That felt like one of his better games, making guys miss in the open field, running through some tackles.
Yeah, he's getting better and better, and playing again with great purpose and more confidence, and better feel for all of it. Pass protection, again, catching the ball. A year ago he didn't have great hands, and he's really improved in that space. And then again, we've done a nice shot, like right there, just holding on to that ball, and it helps you stay on schedule. Next thing you know, you pick up 5 or 6, and you stay on schedule. An easy, simple, basic, boring.
It's stressful too. No one wants to make that play.
No,
that's a hard tackle to make.
And
stressful.
They're playing some bracket coverage, or they're playing zone coverage, and so we're doing a really good job of trying to put people in conflict in that coverage, and then doing a good job delivering the ball there. And again, there's several of them right there, just what you said, putting him in space, putting him in some one-on-ones, and making some guys miss. I think we had offensively over 5. We had 5 explosive runs that were 10-plus yards. I think we had a 20-yard run in there too, and then he did a really nice job of catching and running, as you see, right here's a great example of it. So he's just improving, getting better and better, and getting a really good rhythm.
All right, let's take a break, get back on track. I want to ask you about the O-line and about Maine when we come back. We're at Rudy's talking to Coach Venables. Stay with us.
Sooner Sports Talk is brought to you by Norman Hyundai, your premier Hyundai dealership for new and used cars. The best place to gear up for game day is shop.soonersports.com. The Sooner Sports Podcast is your all-access audio pass to Sooner Sports. Listen as Toby Rowland and Chris Plank talk all things Sooners. New episodes drop every day. Log on to Soonersports.com/podcast or search Sooner Sports Podcast in your favorite podcast provider. Presented by Allstate and Riverwind Casino. Orthodontics exclusively is proud to sponsor the Junior Captain of the game. Junior Captain is the ultimate fan experience for children grades 3 through 7.
Welcome back. This segment brought to you by the Riverwind Casino. Riverwind Casino, good times and great rewards. You mentioned the sacks, Coach. Most of them, almost all of them, came right at the end of the game. But You lose Jacob Sexton, I don't know for how long, but boy, it seemed like you were really moving him on the offensive line. When he went out, it hurt you. But what's your feeling about these guys going forward? That's 2 straight games where they've given up, more sacks than you'd like for sure.
Yeah, no, it's unacceptable, below the standard. We got to find ways to help them and try to keep them out of those situations. Some of the 7-step, type drops that, you stay out of third and extra long that can potentially help you. And again, we got to just kind of move to the next guy. So, Jake Taylor not being there, and then Jacob Sexton's going down. So, we're going to bring Isaiah Autry up and see what he can do. And then we're just going to keep working hard at getting better, really believe in the guys as far as what their futures look like right now. And we're not playing great there. And Mike Tarquin has done a nice job. He's been really pretty good, but some of the young guys are just not playing with great confidence right now. And so they're getting baptized a little bit. They're going against really good players too. And so again, you've got to find ways to again try to help them and improve them. Most importantly, we're in the middle of the season, and we got to try and find ways to get them incrementally better, develop confidence through that. They get to go against good players every day in practice, and so we'll find ways to spend a little bit more time on some of those fundamentals again. In the out of season, you spend a large majority of your practice with fundamentals, and every day we work fundamentals, but you're limited on your time. And then there's also this thing, we're going in our 9th game of the season where you got your certain amount of practice time, and you're trying to help guys not just beat them into the ground and just keep. When you start losing some guys from a depth standpoint, now guys have to take more reps, and then the byproduct, the collateral damage is you start tearing tread off your tire, if you will, and now you're not as fresh, and now you're not as fast, and now you're not as strong, and all those things are just a product. That's kind of what you're dealing with there, but we got to get them better, and I really, like I said, between Logan and Heath Ozida, who's again a freshman, they've done some really good things in some limited play, and then there's some things that we got to play a lot better, and so we'll try to give him some help with Isaiah coming over there as well.
Bring him from the scout team up to the 2 deep or into the starting lineup?
You have to get into the 2 deep.
Okay.
And just numbers-wise, where we're at right now, and so that's what we'll do.
It's been difficult finding explosive plays down the field in the passing game, and it feels like maybe there's something every time. Maybe it's not able to get over there because of protection or whatever it might be. But it looked like Brennan Thompson had a couple of times where he's got some guys beat. What's got to happen to start finding some of those plays?
Yeah, well, again, sometimes it's got to be from a read standpoint. Again, your goal is to try to stay on schedule, and you can take those deep shots and take your chances one-on-one, and you still got to go make the play. And if you don't make it, now you're not on schedule, and so you got to find your moments when you can. And we know what not being on schedule looks like, and everything gets incredibly difficult. So, but there were several times the last several weeks where we had guys that got behind the defense. There wasn't much of them, on Saturday, but there were a few times. And but if they're the initial read, you can get it to them quick. If they're the third read, just because he's open doesn't mean you're necessarily going to get to it.
What's your experience, and Zach's been with the Green Dot this year, with Danny, and I guess with your quarterback?
Yeah. So
you like it? You don't like it?
I think it's good. I think it helps you be potentially be efficient, and helps communication get things communicated situationally. Your last reminders without overloading. You're trying to be halfway on the field before the Green Dot, and you're saying those reminders. This is a little easier to be able to say it, or maybe it's something simple. Before they came out of a huddle, it was a short yardage situation, and we knew the personnel that was going to be in there, but there's maybe it was a holdup because of the injury with the coach or a support staff member.
Yeah.
And we're trying to yell at Billy Bowman, just a last reminder for him. And finally he's like, hey, tell Billy to look at us on the sideline, you know. And so he finally looks over there. Danny turns over there and yells, because it's, you know, you're screaming at the top of your lungs. You know, it's 20 yards away. He can't hear you. And so stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, again, I think some of it, maybe if you have extra time, you can reaffirm, you know, what maybe just happened on that last play. And then, again, be looking for cover 0 here, you know. Hey, alert, we just got inside the 15-yard line. We know they like to play quarters here. So just an eye out for cover 4.
Is it Joe John or Kevin Johns in Jackson's here?
The play caller.
Okay.
Yeah, Joe
John.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like to me the defensive line was excellent, especially against the run, the short yardage stuff, no movement at all. And you don't have a big rotation. Those guys they're playing a ton of snaps and holding up. What'd you see from them?
Yeah, again, you don't have a whole bunch of disruptive plays from a statistical standpoint, like sacks, for example. A week ago, they did. I think they had 6 sacks a week ago, and 13, 14 tackles for loss. This week, not quite as many tackles for loss and sacks, but really point of attack, we were really good all day long. You know, from a physicality standpoint, and, you know, people say SEC ready and those kind of things. I think our guys have shown that they can, again, play with anybody from, you know, the point of attack standpoint. I think they've done a really nice job setting edges, and then interior-wise, got a nice, again, not real deep, but a, you know, four-man or so rotation there that we feel we can play winning football and play the discipline as well that comes along with that. You know, it's one thing to have, you know, good athletes or big, strong guys, but you got to get them to play, you know, the schemes and the techniques. It's like that little play right there. We had a little inside twist. Well, you got to come nice and tight. No matter if the ball's outside of you, you got to come tight, because the second level defender's outside of you. If you get wide and the second level defender's wide, then they're going to have a gap inside. And so we're playing with really good fundamentals and discipline. The D-line coaches, Coach Chavis and Coach Bates, have done a really nice job of getting those guys, you know, to buy into that. You know, a year ago, I thought we were a little uneven, where guys were trying to make plays and things of that nature, and playing with bad eyes and playing too high, and at times getting knocked off the ball as a byproduct of trying to go make a play instead of just executing the defense and let the plays come to you. And so we're really being much more consistent, and we can always be better. You know, I'm not saying we're flawless by any stretch, but I think the naked eye is seeing the right thing from that standpoint. And they put their heavy package stuff several times out on the field, and they did score a touchdown, but we knocked them back, and we had an edge defender that was unblocked. It just kind of stopped. Like, you know, don't stop. I thought he was down. I mean, come on, man. And that was one to the D tackle, and then he ended up falling forward, and they had a touchdown. We were lined up off sides and, as well. But no, we have a chance to go knock him back, even right there. You know, we knocked him backwards. If he just finishes a guy and knocks him to the ground, you know, who knows what happens. We've had several over the last 2 years, you know, balls inside the 3-yard line. We can stop them on 4 downs. And that was one of their second or third quarter touchdowns. And so, but overall, tough, physical, nice job. They did a lot of 7-man protections, and they did a lot of chip stuff as well.
One more segment with Coach Venables when we come back here at Rudy's. Stay with us.
We want to thank all of our Sooner Radio Network affiliates across the state and region. Fans can check out Soonersports.com for an affiliate in your area. And if you're traveling outside the state of Oklahoma, you can listen to all the action on either SiriusXM Radio or download the Varsity Network app and listen free. OU's 2024 football games are available on Exodus 96.5 FM in Oklahoma City and 101.5 FM El Patron in Tulsa, as well as on those stations' websites. Each OU Spanish broadcast will feature a 30-minute pregame show and a 15-minute postgame show. Oklahoma Buick GMC dealers. See your Oklahoma Buick GMC dealer.
Welcome back. Final segment with Coach, brought to you by Pike Pass. Make it home safe. Oklahoma. Maine coming to town on Saturday,
Yep.
Coach. What do we know about the Black Bears?
Well, they've beaten several ranked teams the last month or so of the season. They beat number 5 Villanova 35-7. So they're playing with a lot of confidence. I'll be honest, we just kind of cracked into them yesterday, and so learning more and more about them. But a tough team that that believes in what they're doing. They have a transfer quarterback. We looked at his video. He was at Mercer a year ago, played Ole Miss, and so we saw him, big athlete that can really run. He had a couple of explosive runs. He had a 50-plus yard run. He divided their defense, and they like to move the pocket on offense. They're going to give you a lot of motions, and like everybody, it's just your spread offense. They create a lot of big plays by a lot of deception plays. And but to try to attack you vertically, they're going to actually huddle, like a real huddle, and like every play they're going to huddle, and they're going to snap the ball with give or take 5 or 4 or 3 or 2 seconds on the clock every play. And I'm saying it again. I'm not. It's just that's different. Yeah. And so again, at the end of the day, they're going to try to shorten the game, try to frustrate you, nickel and dime you, run the football effectively, and then try to create some explosives through some deceptive type plays. And then on defense, they're going to be really aggressive, with some of their schemes. But they want to try not to give up big plays, and they've been a little more uneven on that side, but they've really done a good job offensively. And then they've scored a couple of touchdowns on special teams. They've blocked punts. They've returned kicks for touchdowns. They've got good skill, good strong running back, 215, 220-pound running back that runs through a lot of trash. They've got good receivers and good tight ends, but for us, man, it's going to be all about Oklahoma and improving, trying to develop our team. I know it's that I told the team again today, like my message is not going to change. We've the goal and the vision every single week is to improve, get a little bit better this week. We haven't always improved as a team, and we certainly haven't gotten the result. As a matter of fact, being 4-4 at Oklahoma is completely unacceptable, and we all have some ownership in that, and it's embarrassing, and we've fallen well below our standard. But all we can do is control, what's in front of us right now, and can't go back and change, the start of the season. But man, we can have, by what we do today and tomorrow and moving forward, we can have a dramatic effect on how we finish this thing off. And that starts with Maine this week, and I'm continuing to improve. We've made some incremental improvement. There was more improvement made last week, and I want to see it again. I want to see a mature football team that is that we don't take for granted anybody, and that we focus on a standard, not expectations, and we focus on a way of doing things, and we have to have complete and total buy-in of what that looks like. And so I don't expect that things will change from that standpoint. The guys have been really fantastic that way, focused, locked in. Certainly, again, we just lost our third straight game, and guys are humbled, and nobody feels great about anything, and but we do have another opportunity, and the guys, there's several guys that this is their last year, and they know the clock's running, man, and they want to rectify this situation. They want to put their best foot forward, and we can do that by getting better this week and playing really well on Saturday.
It's interesting. This is unique. This is, at least for me, first time experiencing this type of scheduling, right, where you got a game late like this. And a lot of people have always looked at it as kind of an eye roll game for the SEC. Do you think this continues? Have you heard of anyone with the SEC and the scheduling that maybe going to more conference games? Is this something that maybe is going to go away?
Well, again, I think I would be completely and totally speculating. And so it's not like I've had these conversations with Commissioner Sankey, and we know what the options are potentially. And I think part of, let's see how this first year of the playoffs, how does that exactly work out? And we're playing, you've seen it every week, and I think it's exciting. It is. When we talked about it several years ago, it was like this is going to be kind of like an NFL model. Teams are going to potentially beat up on each other. There's going to be more parity. And but the end product week in and week out is going to be some amazing games. And it might be a dang good year.
It's wide open right
when
now.
you go to you watch the NFL. There's a very few. If you're having a hell of a year in the NFL, man, it's like you're 10-3, man.
Right.
You're sitting in the driver's seat. And so anyway, that being said, I don't know, and where everything will land, and wherever it lands, we'll play the schedule that's in front of us.
Everybody's going to play 9 conference games in a
Think
couple
so?
of years. Yeah, I think that's where we're going to land. That was a great question. That was our Rudy's question of the night. Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue hosts us every week. Coach, go shoot down the Black Bears.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for hanging out with us today. Brent Venables, Teddy, and I'll be back. One final segment next. Stay with us.
Thank you to our Cornerstone Television partners, OU Health, OG&E, Fowler Auto Group, and Coca-Cola.
Well, the old saying is you got to keep the main thing the main thing.
That's right.
That's what we're going to do this week. We're going to keep the main thing the
That
main
works
thing.
well
Black
this
Bears
week.
are coming to town. What'd you take away from what Coach had to say tonight?
Well, I mean, it's always close. There's a fine line, and you know, look good the first half and just getting out of rhythm. A couple of small details in the second half, and it just kind of unravels on you. And the further you get, as the time's ticking down and there's some separation there, you become more predictable, and that's whenever they can really pin their ears back and come after you. And you know, we're so thin right now. We've been banged up at so many positions that if a guy goes down like Sexton did when he was playing really well, it leaves you really vulnerable.
Final segment brought to you by your Oklahoma Buick GMC dealers. Time for your bold prediction, your hot take, Teddy. Gabe and I hit ours last week, by the way. We haven't had one in a while. So would you like to know what everybody else's was tonight, or would you like to give yours untethered?
Well, I'm going to go untethered. I think we have a 300-yard passer. Haven't had that this year yet, right? And
Correct.
A 100-yard rusher.
Haven't had that either.
Double hot take.
I like it. I like it a lot. Gabe predicted that Jackson Arnold would throw for 300 yards.
Okay.
So you're saying that plus Javonte or somebody's going to rush
100-yard
for
rusher, yeah.
100. Josh Norman was with us tonight. He said that the OU defense will have 5 or more sacks.
Okay.
And then I hit with Jacob Jordan and a touchdown last week. I'm doubling down. I think he's going to have
Let it
another
ride.
one this week. 1:30 will be kickoff. We'll have pregame coverage for you on Sooner Radio starting at 10:30 a.m. on Saturday morning. We're back at the Palace Saturday. Come join us if you can't listen to Sooner Radio. And we'll see you back here next week at Rudy's. Boomer Sooner, everybody.
Sooner Sports Talk has been brought to you by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, bringing you the best in real Texas barbecue. And by Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Sooner Sports Network.